happy Saturday. And if you are in the watch world at all, you will know what I mean when I say that I've just got the call. So this morning I got a call from my watch dealer who is up in Chester, which is a 3-hour drive away, saying that a watch that I have been on the list for literally years has come in and it's got my name on it if I can get up there today. So I'm shooting up there now in the Jag. I'm getting up to Chester to go and pick up the newest timepiece with the collection. So something a bit different, very different for the channel today. And I'm going to take you on the 6-hour round trip with me to Chester and back. I'm going to hop into the Jag now. I'm very excited, so fingers crossed I don't get any speeding tickets on the way, because I'm definitely going to be excited the whole way there. But this is a really special timepiece. I can already tell this new watch is going to be my new daily driver, and I'm excited to pick it up. So if you are at all interested in watches, timepieces, then definitely come along on the journey. I'm going to grab the watch and I'm going to do a review of the watch when I have it in hand, and talk a little bit about why I like to invest into timepieces. So okay, let's crack on and let's get into the car and get after it. All right, we're in the car. As you know, I'm a huge fan of my Jaguar F-Type R, better than a Porsche 911, but don't tell any Porsche fans that. Have a little button just here. And what this button does is it opens up the exhaust. So when you turn the engine on, which I'm about to do, it makes it just sound a little bit better, a little bit louder. So here we go, guys. Submariner green bezel, known as the Starbucks. Awesome watch. This is the 41mm, and I've been wanting this watch for ages. It's an awesome piece. Great summer watch. And I also want to talk quickly about why I buy watches, and in particular Rolex watches, but I do also have other brands that I like to invest in, and that is the key there. It's an investment for me. It's an investment in more than one ways. Yes, it's a financial investment. A lot of these watches are very hard to get. However, the reason that I purchase watches is that they're great investments financially, but they also can be conversation starters, and I'm going to get into that because just having cool watches, generally it's a good talking point for other people who are successful doing cool things. It's one of those hobbies that people just get into. A lot of people have goals of having a cool watch. So I will talk a little bit about philosophy around why I spend X amount, 9, 10, 15, 30 grand on a watch, and we'll get into it. So yeah, time to drive home. Got a 3-hour drive ahead of me. Alright, so I gave that little peek of the watch while I was in the car, and I was just leaving the car park. Now, I messed up, so basically I decided to park in a very, very tight space, so I was kind of in a rush, and I was essentially against a barricade in the car park. And I've really messed up here. So basically, I don't know if you can see this, I've damaged the Jag. I've got a big ass crack there, and the bumper has actually slightly come off the car. So that's going to be an expensive repair. I don't know how much F-type bumpers are, but I'm assuming I'm going to need a new bumper. Let's hope I make it back in one piece with my bumper still intact. Stupid mistake, but hey, you know what? I'm grateful for a lot of things. At the end of the day, shit happens, and when it does, if there's nothing else that you can do about it, then you just gotta live with it, do what you can about it. I'm gonna have to get this repaired, but it is what it is, and yeah, there's nothing I can do about it now. So it's happened, it's done, and we move on. What a day that was. So it's Sunday now, and Saturday, I got home and I couldn't be bothered to record anymore. Like, I'd had a 6-hour round trip. I had the whole drama of the Jaguar gate incident, ripping off my front bumper. That's going to cost me a pretty penny to get sorted, but it was all worth it because I secured the timepiece. If you're watching this, I'm sure you have a good idea of how difficult this watch is to buy at list price. It's a very, very hard watch to acquire. I would say it's definitely up there in the, the top 5 potentially Rolex watches that people are looking to to inquire for when they walk in. And just to give you some reference, this watch was 9,100 GBP, and it sells on the secondhand market anywhere from 15 to 16,000. So that's how much people want this watch. They're willing to pay like way above list price to purchase it. So I'm super happy to get it. It is, because I have a very strong relationship with my authorized dealer. I've spent hundreds of thousands of pounds with them over the years and have built that relationship over time. So I feel very blessed to be in a position where I have been able to do that. And trust me, it's been a journey, and I've steadily grown my relationship there. And that's the same with any business relationship. You need to nurture those relationships. You need to treat people well, treat people with respect, and they will hopefully do the same for you. So I just want to quickly talk about this timepiece and just timepieces in general, because it's not something I've really talked about on the channel before. And the last thing I want to do is come across as like I'm flexing here. You know what? I am proud that I managed to purchase this watch. I'm proud of all of the watches I've acquired. And I don't, by the way, keep any watches on me. They are all stored basically in a bank. So I don't have anything on me usually. But every now and again I'll get them out. And for me, it's like artwork. I do have watches that I'll have in rotation, but never more than one. And the rest of it I just store in a secured location. Why do I purchase timepieces? So first and foremost, they are actually a very, very strong investment if you buy the right watch. So for me, I'm an investor. I have my property company, I invest in the stock market, and I invest in my own business, and I also invest in watches. And I believe that watches are a fantastic asset class, because if you actually look at the historical value of Rolexes, of Patek Philippe's, of Audemars Piguet, these kinds of watches, they rocket in value over time. These watches can easily double or triple over the course of 10-15 years, and that is as good as asset as anything. If you're purchasing something for £10,000, you leave it in a bank account for 15 years, and then that's worth £30,000-40,000. For me, that's a great investment. And it's also a fun investment. It's a diversified investment. It's something different to the other things that I am purchasing and investing in. So that is why I'm a big fan of watches as a general asset class, not to mention the fact that they are just stunning things. They're marvels of mechanical engineering. People have actually put this together. There's no electric components in this. It's a fully automatic mechanical timepiece that keeps time very, very effectively. And they're also hard as a rock. Like, I will wear a watch in the pool, I'll wear it in the sea, I'll wear it in the gym, I'll wear it hiking, I'll wear it in the shower. If I have a watch, I wear a watch. And if you buy a quality timepiece, then they stand the test of time for sure. So the other reason why I like to invest in watches and have nice watches is because there's something about putting on a nice timepiece onto your wrist that just does something for your mentality, your mindset. If you've worked hard and you've earned that timepiece and you're putting that on your wrist, it's a daily reminder of the fact that you have achieved something. You've worked towards something, you've achieved it. At the end of the day, it's a material item and it's not going to fulfill you. It's not going to make you necessarily happy, but it's just another reminder that you are somebody that works hard, that does cool things and achieves things. Thirdly, the networking side of having a nice watch is a very, very underrated reason to purchase a watch. I was staying in an Airbnb a few weeks ago, and the owner of the Airbnb clocked my watch and he said, "Damn, that's a nice watch." And then we started having an hour-long conversation. He was a watch guy, I was a watch guy, he was a car guy. I'm interested in cars too. We had a great conversation, and then he also started giving me some insight into his business. I found out that he sold his business. That's how he afforded this amazing Airbnb that he had, and he was in business for like 30 years, and I asked him some questions. I learned a little bit, and that wouldn't have happened if he didn't see the watch. I've also had business relationships come from people noticing my watch and us, getting chatting and things like that. I've had mentorship situations where I've been able to talk about watches and then say, "Hey, can I pick your brain on something? Can I ask you a question?" So for me, it puts you into this little club. If somebody sees, "Hey, that's a nice watch. I like your watch. I've got this watch." It's a conversation starter. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not necessarily about being, "Hey, look at me. I'm some big baller with a 10, 20, 30 gram watch on my wrist." No, it's about, "Hey, you've worked hard. You've achieved something. I respect that. I like your watch. let's have a chat about it. So that's another reason why I like to purchase and invest in high quality timepieces. So, okay, without further ado, let's get into a little close-up look. Let's get into the fun part. A little close-up look at the Rolex Submariner. They like to call it the Starbucks. The watch before this was called the Hulk. So the difference being that this watch here, it has the ceramic bezel. I don't know if you can see that very well. It has the ceramic bezel with the black dial. The Hulk before it had the ceramic bezel, green bezel, but it had like a green sunburst dial. I prefer this watch. I think it's a little bit more low-key, a little bit more classy, and nicer to wear every day. But this piece, yeah, it's a Submariner, reference 126610LV, I believe. And it's a watch that I've wanted for a very, very long time. And it's not the most flashy watch I own, it's not the most expensive watch I own, but it's one that means a lot because it's kind of when I first started my journey into being interested in watches, this was one of the ones where I was like, I really, really want this watch. So I'm really happy to have this. It's going to be my daily driver for a while. All right, so here we have it, a closer look at the Rolex Submariner Starbucks. And I opened it up on this cool page here of the Book of Rolex. It's a pretty cool book if you are into watches. And it's on the Submariner page, and the reason I did this is because you can see actually the two predecessors to this watch. So this is the 126610LV. Before that we had the aluminium bezel, which is quite a similar looking watch, the main difference being that obviously the movement is much more modern and updated in this version here, but it also had an aluminium bezel compared to the ceramic bezel on this piece here. And then the watch that we had before, just before this watch, so this watch here was known as the Kermit, this is known as the Starbucks, and this watch here was the Hulk, which is kind of a legendary watch because it's been discontinued now. And the difference being there, the dial is, as we can see, this kind of sunburst finish. But this is the piece that I love, that I'm proud to call my watch, which is the Starbucks. So this watch, super comfortable on the wrist. It has the dive extension there, with its sticker still on the back. But ultimately what this means is that you can use this dive extension to customize the fit on your wrist. So if it's a hot day, for example, you can whip that out and you can expand it based on if your wrist is swelling a little bit due to the heat, or if it is just, if it's a cold day, you can make it smaller. You can also put it over a dive suit if you're so inclined. This watch does go to 300 meters water resistance, which is pretty solid. I mean, you definitely know she's wearing it in the shower or going swimming in it. You know, I don't think I'll ever be going 300 meters deep into the water, so I can pretty much wear this watch in any situation. And just that industrial looking brushed stainless steel finish. 72-hour power reserve, which means if you wear this, you put it down for 3 days, it will still be ticking, at which point you would need to reset it if you have it off the wrist for longer than that. So let's take a look at it on the wrist. The Submariner Starbucks, beautiful piece. I think it fits my wrist super well, it feels nice. My wrist is just under 7 inches for anyone who is interested in that size comparison, but it looks sharp on the wrist. Like, it's sporty as hell, but you could dress it up, you could dress it down. Like, any situation you could wear this watch, which is one of the reasons I love it so much. Like, this would be at home wearing a suit, or it would be at home literally on the beach in your sandals and floral beach shorts. So all in all, fantastic timepiece, absolutely love it, and a very, very pleasant surprise to add to the collection. So there we have it, guys, something a little bit different today. It's cool to talk about business. I love talking about business, and that is what this channel is all about. But hey, we're all people too, and I think it's important to share our interests and passion outside of business too. And for me, horology, timepieces, watches is a huge, huge passion of mine. So one final look, if we can get into focus, of the Submariner on the wrist. Again, super, super happy to pick this piece up. We should be back to probably a business video next time, so I will catch you on the flip side.